Carolina's most experienced team of meteorologists.
Hello, everyone. I'm Deborah Morgan. We continue to follow these severe storms across our area. Here's a live look right now at the WRAL tower cam. You can see the lightning, heavy rain earlier tonight, just about 15 minutes ago. I saw it raining sideways here at the TV station. Meteorologist Mike Mays is in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. Mike, power outages a big problem. 35,000 customers without power in Wake County alone.
And those numbers are likely to go up because the storm system is now beginning to make its way into our eastern counties. New severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Sampson County and eastern Cumberland County till 8:45. That's one of the points I'm going to hit on in just a moment. But first, I want to outline some damage reports. We have a report from Broadway. This is in Harnett County. A tree on a car and truck at Knight Road and Pittman Road. In Moore County, we have reports of multiple trees down with multiple power outages. Also, we have a report in Cary of 2 people possibly trapped in their home. A report up in Bahama, this is in Granville County, a very large tree branch down on a house there. So we're getting numerous reports of wind damage over in Chatham County as well. Moore County, soon we'll likely get reports of tree damage here in Wake County as well. The storm is now just moving through Wake County. That camera view that Deborah just showed you, at one point we couldn't see downtown because it was raining so hard, and Deb mentioned the rain was coming down sideways. Here is the view from the live dual Doppler 5000 radar. You can see most of the cloud to ground lightning strikes out of the storm system centered on Wake County right now, and that's where the worst of the activity is occurring as we speak. So let me zoom into Wake County so we can see the line, and I'm going to take away the lightning so we can see a better look at the storms now making their way through Wake Forest and Purnell, also toward Knightdale, Rolesville, Wendell, Lizard Lick, Eagle Rock, soon to be making its way toward Zebulon. Clayton, you're getting hit right now with very heavy rainfall, frequent lightning strikes, soon to be in Wilson's Mills, Smithfield, the McGee's Crossroads area, the Cleveland School Road area, heading down I-40, all getting very heavy rainfall. Let me stop the time lapse, and I wanted to take a look at the winds because the winds inside this have been incredibly strong. Let me move to the other data and look at the reds, and let me turn off the lightning strikes and sample some of the winds strong enough to create wind damage with power lines down and such. 39-mile-per-hour winds up toward Rolesville, 41-mile-per-hour winds near Zebulon, and then farther south, about 31-mile-per-hour winds. So they're not as strong as when they were making their way into western Wake County. When we were seeing this line move through Morrisville, Apex, and Holly Springs, we're looking at 50-mile-per-hour winds. So the line seems to have weakened just a little bit, making its way towards southern Franklin County, eventually toward Wilson County and Bailey, and eventually making its way toward Wilson's Mills and Lucama. Now, if you're watching from Rocky Mount, Elm City, Wilson, Fremont, up toward Red Oak, this line is heading your way, so you will eventually be getting some of this worse weather. Very heavy rainfall, much welcome rainfall, but unfortunately it does come with a severe risk. And again, as I mentioned at the top of this cut-in, severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Sampson County. It looks like all the county till 8:45, Cumberland County as well. And the Fayetteville Regional Airport had a wind gust up to 50 knots. So where they're talking about winds about 60 miles per hour or so with that line that's moved through there. And your severe thunderstorm warning for Fayetteville and Cumberland County lasts until about 8:45. So we still have some time to go for this line to be making its way into our eastern counties. Again, heads up, if you're watching from Nash and Edgecombe counties, Wilson County, Wayne County, this line is headed your way. We're talking about frequent lightning strikes, potential for winds up to 70 miles per hour, because within this yellow polygon here, which expires at 8 o'clock, is the potential for winds up to 70 miles per hour. Continuing to watch the chat room from the National Weather Service, looking for any kind of new wind damage updates. And what I've told you is the latest that we have right now, but I'm sure we'll be seeing more wind damage reports coming up. Now, Brett Neese is standing by live in the WRAL Live Center. Brett, it's been just a wild evening with these storms rolling through Wake County.
That's right, Mike. And in Wake County, we just saw this number of power outages increase to 63,000 as we came on the air here for this cut-in. It was about 35,000. It has nearly doubled here in the last few minutes. We got 5,000 down in the Sanford area, another 3,000 in Durham. That is showing you the impact of this storm as it moves through our area. We also want to take a look at live traffic conditions. This is the Beltline, Capitol Boulevard at 440, and you can see it's kind of frozen right now, but that's because of how much rain is coming down in that area. area. The gleam on the pavement is evident there. Also on I-40 at Harrison Avenue, a lot of slow traffic out there. If you don't have to be out on the road, it's really a good idea not to be. You just saw right here from and there's a big lightning strike right there at Glenwood Avenue. This live look at 440, the Beltline at Glenwood, and you can see all those cars that are out there. We do have our current road condition map right now as well. This green, that shows where road conditions are wet. It is moving across the entire area, and we're actually starting to see these darker green spots. That's where the rain is heaviest, and it's forming some ponding out on the roadways, making for some dangerous conditions. Here's our live look at RDU, and you can see this storm passing through RDU. So far, a ground stop not in place at RDU. It was in Charlotte a little bit ago, but at this point, we are not seeing a ground stop, but we are seeing a number of cancellations and delays. This just updated right now. Nearly 50 cancellations out of RDU, 108 delays so far. Down in the Charlotte area, 113 cancellations because of this storm. And it's just incredible to see on all of our live cameras here. And we're going to continue to monitor for any damage reports as those come in as well. We'll bring them here in the WRAL Live Center. Back to you.
And, you know, Brett, we're watching your traffic map and the ominous look at the radar and many of our WRAL live cameras. If you can stay home, I highly, highly recommend it. If the storms haven't arrived where you live yet, they are coming. And this is what's on the way. You see all of these storm reports to our west and western North Carolina. We have a few that are starting to trickle in Lee County, Moore County, as well as Chatham County and Harnett County. We are going to see a lot more of these wind damage reports showing up on our map. I expect it to look more like this by the time we are done with this line of storms. We're also going to see more power outages. We're just starting to see those move in, but many areas to our west saw between 5 to over 10,000 people without power, and that's just on a county by county basis. Mecklenburg County with Charlotte, over 25,000 people without power. So this is really going to be a rough night for us. Be prepared. You may be losing power. I started to get some text messages in from family, friends who are losing power around the triangle right now. The worst of these storms starting to clear out of Raleigh and Cary now. Holly Springs getting hit hard. Man, when I was looking at the winds, that was one of the worst wind signatures that I've seen tonight. Wake Forest now being hit hard. This is going to be headed for Franklin County, Johnston County as well. I-95 is where some of the strongest storms are about to be. And remember, in all these yellow polygons, these are severe thunderstorm warnings. We could see 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts in parts of that line. A severe thunderstorm watch remains in effect until midnight, all thanks to this powerful front passing through the East Coast. Aaron Thomas is in the WRAL Storm Tracker right now in Holly Springs, one of the areas that saw some strong winds push through the area. We were watching that on our Apex camera earlier. Aaron, how are the roads looking there right now?
Yes, so Kat, the roads are pretty smooth. I want to take you now to New Hill, Holloman Road and Wake County. We have just some traffic that's starting to pick up now, but if you look in the distance, we're starting to approach this fire truck here. We just saw someone with State Highway Patrol working to clear a downed tree that was in the road. We want to just tell you how strong these storms have been all evening. We had low visibility as we were on I-440 this evening. We actually passed through a power line at one point, and we saw a lot of leaves falling off of trees. And we did see a lot of people who had their hazard lights on because of, again, how heavy this rainfall is. We've been trying to tell our viewers, many of them, if they can try to stay off the roads if all possible, do so because of the intensity of this storm. We're going to be making our way on to US 1 right now. I'm not sure if you saw on this road here, but there were remnants of that storm. We saw some of the straw that was there, but we are getting reports of downed trees at different homes and such. So, of course, we'll have more updates as we become available. Actually, I want to toss things over to Mike, who continues to monitor the latest with this storm. Mike?
Yes, Aaron, we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning that just came in. You can see the aerial outline. Let me run through the counties. Wayne County, Nash County, Edgecombe County, Southern Halifax County, Northeastern Wake County, Wilson County, Johnston County, Franklin County, and a severe thunderstorm warning until 9 o'clock this evening. This line is moving east at 50 miles per hour and winds potentially up to 60 miles per hour. So that's a little less than what we were seeing out of the warning here in Wake County. The thinking is the storms perhaps weaken just a little bit. So not talking about the 70 mile per hour wind potential, but the 60 mile per hour wind potential. So if you're watching from Rocky Mount over toward Princeville and Tarboro and Wilson and Elm City, Fremont, Pikeville, Goldsboro, getting over and into the southern part of Wayne County, you do have that potential for severe weather through at least 9 o'clock. And real quick, I wanted to run through some of the new damage reports. We have a report of a power pole and power line down at 4400 Wake Forest Road in Raleigh. We have reports of a tree blocking a portion of Bass Lake Road in Holly Springs near Gooseberry Road, and also volunteer firefighter reports tree across the road at Hannah Creek and Morgan Road in Benson. So these are just some of the few damage reports that have come in. I'm sure we're going to get a boatload of them by the time we get to the end of the evening. And again, this line continues to move to the east at about 50 miles per hour. So the worst of the weather heading toward our eastern counties. Deborah, Gerald?
Well, you know, Mike, when Kat showed the damage board, you saw all the damage to our west and very few wind damage to where we are right now. What do you think's the delay, the lag time to when we see that populate?
Once the line clears Wake County, these reports will slowly trickle in, and I'm sure we'll see more trickle in for Chatham County, more Lee County. By the time you see us the next time on the air, we'll have more reports, and of course tonight at 10 on Fox 15, 11 on WRAL.
All right, Mike.
Well, as we leave you right before the 8 o'clock hour, let's show you some of the live cameras in our WRL Live Cam network. This is Wake Forest, where you see that heavy rain and certainly a lot of lightning coming down there.
And Mike mentioned some power lines down on Wake Forest Road in Raleigh. This is Apex. Good thing people aren't on the roads. They've taken our advice, if they listen to us, and they are at home right now, and the storm seems to be out of that area. And it'll be out of our area pretty soon too.
Boy, half an hour ago, this was a much different scene. So hopefully it will move through quickly. This is the WRAL tall tower cam look as we're looking back toward the west. You see just a sliver of the sunset. Boy, in a lot of areas, it already looks like nightfall because it is so dark out there with all of the rain clouds.
Yeah, that's probably the perfect vantage point when you look at what's happening in that part of Wake County. And this, of course, downtown Raleigh there through the live cam network. We're going to continue to follow this storm for you on WRAL.com. We'll break in with
When it comes to uncovering stories that matter, the difference is unmistakable.
The most critical damage happened next.
Only WRAL Investigates has the persistence.
There are people that are missing in this country that their families don't have any idea what happened to them.
Skeletal remains, unnamed and unclaimed, filed away in boxes, too often forgotten.
They didn't have a name for 20 years. No one knew who they were.
Now, scientists are cracking the oldest cold cases, teasing clues from the bones in the boxes.
Just the satisfaction of being able to unravel something that somebody tried so hard to hide at some point. You know, somebody didn't get away with murder.
True crime meets forensic science in What Remains, the new podcast from WRAL Studios.
For the family, it's everything. This is what they struggled and suffered through for years.
He said, "We found your sister," and I was like, whoa.
Find and follow What Remains now in your favorite podcast app.
When you see a WRAL certified accurate forecast, you know it's been verified by the largest team of meteorologists with the most powerful tools in North Carolina.
We personally write every alert and send them directly to you so that you'll always know when severe weather is at your doorstep.
Tracking severe weather or everyday weather, no matter where or how you watch. Always local, always live, always protecting what matters to you.
And that's coverage you can count on.
When it comes to uncovering stories